I'm Stuart Zechman, and I just can't believe how successful Rush Limbaugh has been lately. Man, that guy is good. I mean, I know he's lost like 20 sponsors already, that's true, but it has been totally worth it. He's had to apologize twice in 1 week for calling a Democrat a slut and a prostitute. But boy, has his apparent political mission been fulfilled. In fact, I can't think of another week in which Rush has been as successful at what I imagine to be the political goal of his program, not even counting his financial goals. So what do I mean by political goals? Well, I mean the effect that Limbaugh and other shows like his are designed to have on mass audiences of Americans. Now, you might think that the effect I'm talking about is to shock people or disgust them or get them angry or raise controversy or, give voice to some of the things that some guys in our country would really like to say if they weren't constrained by manners or workplace rules or having to go home and eat with their families every night. But that's not even really the effect I'm talking about. This major thing that Rush was so successful at creating this week, what he's really going for, what his political goal truly is, and what he's so very, very good at, is distracting people, and while they're distracted, spreading misinformation as far as it can go in American news culture. He's helping to distract and misinform millions of people right now, which is what his show is really about from a political perspective. And in this respect, he's not just an entertainer, he is a master. So let's review how this misinformation spreads. Number one, the Obama administration announces that they're drafting HHS regulations in a way that somehow mandates the state-based insurance oligopolies have to pay for prescription birth control at no extra cost, quote-unquote, for those expensive pharmaceuticals. Number two, Rush says he's really unhappy about the Obama-Romney healthcare law because he says it somehow mandates free birth control, and so he called somebody on the Democratic side a slut and a prostitute. Number three, liberals and Democrats jump up and down about Rush's language. Rush apologizes, whatever, for his language. The Republican presidential candidates disavow Rush's language. Obama gets asked in a presser about Rush's language. Number four, movement conservatives still believe that they're somehow paying for someone else's free birth control. Movement liberals also still largely believe that they're getting free birth control. And the political media get to focus on sensationalizing bad sexy time language, slut, prostitute, instead of explaining healthcare policy to the American people. See how that works? We stopped asking a basic question. If the Obama-Romney healthcare law mandates birth control coverage at no out-of-pocket cost, meaning no copay or coinsurance, then who's going to end up paying for it? How? And there's nothing in the law or regulations whatsoever that prevents premiums from being raised, however much the private insurance companies feel like increasing them. The Obama administration says that premiums should stay about the same, and that's just not how these health insurers work, not in practice at least. Do we really believe that health insurers will just pick up the tab for birth control now without raising prices for other care somehow and just wait around for the savings from slowed down maternity costs to materialize over the long run? Is that how it really works with health insurers in the real world? And what about the price of that prescription birth control itself? Already, Americans pay twice, even 3 times as much as any citizen in any country in the healthy, wealthy world for prescription drugs. Remember when the Republicans passed Medicare Part D that specifically prevented Canadian-style negotiations with Big Pharma over drug prices in Medicare? Remember when the Obama administration supported a filibuster of the Dorgan Amendment that would have allowed drug reimportation during the healthcare fight? Remember? So what about the Romney-Obamacare law makes that problem, the price problem, go away? Are we really getting free birth control out of this? Or is something else happening to U.S. healthcare here? Something that's hidden far away from the debate over who called somebody else a prostitute about what? And that's what I mean, folks. Rush's contribution is to help everybody forget that citizens of the United States are being charged almost $8,000 per person per year, while Canadians are paying $4,300 or German people are paying $4,200 for the same doctor's visits and hospital stays and lab tests and birth control pills. Rush's contribution here is to help us forget to be angry about being ripped off and instead get some people angry about supposedly free birth control being handed out and some people angry about him calling a woman a slut. And that's why he's a master. Journalists will note the controversy and move on, and we're no better informed for this episode than before Rush said a word. So ask yourself, is Rush telling the truth when he says that people will somehow get free birth control paid for by somebody else? Is the Obama administration telling the truth when they say that people will somehow get free birth control paid for by somebody else? Are they both telling the truth? Or are they both not quite telling the real truth about healthcare policy? And how do you know one way or the other? So my advice to my fellow movement liberals is this: don't let Rush be this successful. Because if you find yourself getting mad at Rush Limbaugh instead of getting mad at the price of healthcare in America, well, then Rush Limbaugh has succeeded at his most important political goal, distraction and misinformation, once again. It's how everybody who isn't actually affected by these policies, one way or the other, wins instead of you. I'm Stuart Zechman, and this has been the Z-Files.